Hello, everybody. Happy June. Well, almost June. Wanted to take some time today to go over my June hopefuls. Now, my hopefuls list tends to be on the shorter side of things usually because I am the biggest mood reader in the world. So I keep the list short so I can kind of see what I'm in the mood for during the month. This list has 5 books. I also have been trying to read my book of the month choice during June, and since that hasn't been released yet when I'm recording this video, I don't know what that book's going to be, so that will be a great mystery that I will be sure to let you guys know as soon as I pick one. So without further ado, let's get into my June hopefuls. So my first hopeful is a new book that I got, and it just sounds so good, and I'm so excited to read it, and that is Lore by Alexandra Bracken. And this book is kind of like a cross between like Greek mythology meets the Hunger Games. And I'm so excited about that. So basically every 7 years, as a punishment for some rebellion that they did, 9 Greek gods are turned mortal and come down to Earth. And then there are humans who are hunting down these gods because if they kill them, then they get like their superpowers or something like that. So I'm so excited. This book sounds so cool. There's a really cool map in the front of the book of New York, and I usually go to New York. I'm trying to figure out where in New York it is. Okay, I know exactly where what's showing me. Well, it should because it has Rockefeller Center right there. I usually go to New York once a year, but I didn't in 2020 not because of COVID, because I went to Disney World. So, because I usually go in the winter, like in January, February, and then I didn't go in 2021 because of COVID, so I'm hoping to go next year. My next book is a book club book. That is Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. And this is about a lawyer who it's a true story, it's written by him. He started the Equal Justice Initiative, which helps exonerate the wrongfully convicted. And one of his first cases is the case of Walter McMillan, who is sentenced to death for a crime he did not commit. And I know that it is a movie with Michael B. Jordan. I saw like the beginning of it, and it looked really good. I think we recorded it on the DVR. This was back when I was living with my mom still, and we had like cable and a DVR and everything. Then I never got around to watching it. I don't remember why. I think it was like right around the time we started house hunting. So I'm gonna read it, and I definitely though want to watch the movie afterwards because I love me some Michael B. Jordan. My next book is also a memoir, and I've had this for a while, and I don't know why I haven't read it, but I'm like, it's time. It's time to read Just a Geek by Wheaton. I am a Trekkie. I'm just going to come out and say it right now. I am a Trekkie. I was raised on Next Gen. Voyager is my favorite as of right now. I love Will Wheaton. He played Wesley Crusher on Next Gen. He also is a huge board gamer, which I am too. And his YouTube videos introduced me to a lot of the board games that I used to build up the foundation of my collection. So I'm really excited to read this book, and it's basically him talking about being in Star Trek, being a geek, kind of embracing all of those nerdy things that he loves, and I love that so much because that's how I am as well. Next, I have Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Graudin. This is a young adult book. I have 3 young adult books in here. Lore is young adult, and my next one is young adult. So Lore is like an alternate history where it's 1956. It says that on the back. I don't have that memorized. It says that on the back. And the Axis powers won World War II, and to commemorate their victory, they have a motorcycle race every year, and the winner gets to meet Hitler. So the main character, whose name is Yael, was in a concentration camp. She was experimented on, and now she's a skin shifter. So she skin shifts into the form of the winner from the year before, so she can compete in this motorcycle race to meet Hitler so she can assassinate him. And I just feel like this book has so much going on, and it's like, wait, you want to, wait, point A to point, how, where, how did you come up with this idea? And it just sounds awesome. And I've heard really good things about it from Haley in Bookland, who I follow on BookTube. You should definitely check her out. And so I had to get it, and I'm super excited to read it. And finally, I have We Unleash the Merciless Storm by Tehlor K. Mejia. And this is the sequel to We Set the Dark on Fire, which was so good. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, the covers are gorgeous. We Set the Dark on Fire is similar design. Gorgeous covers. Awesome plot. It's like in a society where they practice bigamy based on their mythology. So there is a prima and a segunda wife, and the prima is very prim and proper and kind of like runs the house and does all that, and the segunda is more like flighty and is the one, the entertainer and all of that. And in the previous book, and then there's also like people who live outside the wall around the country or the city or something. I'm doing a really bad job of explaining it. And the main character, whose name is not Carmen. Carmen was, I can't remember the name of it. Carmen was the segunda. But the main character, in the first one, she was from the outside the wall, and her parents lied to get her the paperwork to get her into the school where she became like the top prima wife, like she trained to be a wife. And so she then joins this bigamist marriage with Carmen, who's the segunda, and they're like enemies and all of that. But then of course they end up being lovers, and there's this wonderful sapphic romance going on, and like toppling the system, and the mythology woven in was just amazing, and definitely not what I was expecting from the book. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. And so this is the sequel, where they're basically trying to topple the society and typical dystopian stuff. What I like about it is set in Hispanic culture, and it's like little bits of this Hispanic culture are woven in amongst it, and you have, like I said, just the mythology, and oh my gosh, so good. I really, really, really loved it. And so I want to read, it's a duology, and so I think it's only a duology. That's all I've seen. So I want to read the second one. Other than that, I am not entirely sure what I want to read in June. Like I said, I'm a big mood reader. I have a reading vlog planned out for June for after I get out of school. So I will see how that goes, see how many books I can read during that. In terms of audiobooks, I'm not entirely sure. I think The Handmaid's Tale is going to happen. I probably won't listen to as many because I tend to listen to them in the car, and with summer vacation, I'm not traveling as much in the car. But I'm thinking Handmaid's Tale is going to happen because I was going to listen to that after I finished the audiobook I'm on now. But my hold on Concrete Rose came in by Angie Thomas. So I'm going to definitely go for Concrete Rose before I go to Handmaid's Tale, and then we'll take it from there. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to read in June. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping I'll read all of these, but things change. So keep following, subscribe, hit the notifications button so you can see what am I reading, what am I liking, and be sure to comment down below and tell me what are you hoping to read in June. Bye guys.